I hate this channel. Hello everyone, Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we're continuing the Pokémon SoulSilver Nuzlocke. Last time we had a pretty alright battle against our 7th gym leader Jasmine, earning us the Mineral Badge, only to find out that Team Rocket is now in control of the region's radio waves, which means a lot of bad stuff is going to be going down. So we have returned once more to Goldenrod City in order to deal with this crisis. Our team is pretty much unchanged from last time, and we should be more than prepared for what's to come. For the most part, we'll get into that a bit later. Look around Goldenrod City, things are definitely a bit more hectic now. Heh, you gym trainers can be a problem. Stay in the gym and stay out of the way. Get out of my way. We as gym trainers will never allow Team Rocket to do nasty things here in our city. Whitney's got a huge power Raichu. I'm sure she'll be fine. There's a lot of buildings around here that are now blocked off by Team Rocket runs. And other pathways are just straight up blocked, so we can't access them. Seems like the game corner is doing just fine. And if we go into the Pokemon Center and the department store, I think some of the people around here have things to say. Apparently not in here. Okay, the Pokemon Center seems like they're just doing alright. But if we go into the department store... Oh. No? I could have sworn there were NPCs around that talk about the invasion. Well, I guess not. Alright, that must have been me misremembering a few things. Anyway, like I was saying, Team Rocket is taking control of Goldenrod City as part of their plans. Would you know it? Their point of interest was, of course, the radio tower. That's why they were so interested in this place earlier and why they were running radio-based experiments out in Mahogany Town. As part of their grand master plan for their return. If we go in here now... Welcome to Goldenrod's radio tower. Or, maybe not. Sorry to tell you this, but no one can visit the tower now. Jack, why are you calling me during a crisis? July, howdy, it's Jack, how are you? Did you know? If your opponent uses Dig, your Earthquake becomes more powerful. Yeah, thanks for that, buddy. Really appreciate that. The way is now blocked. Who are you? We have some business going on. I was told I'll let anyone pass with Team Rocket. Do you understand? You're only allowed to come through when you're wearing the cool black uniform for Team Rocket. Well, shoot, he's not going to let us through. Not even going to challenge us to a damn battle. That's great. So we're going to have to find some way in order to infiltrate the radio tower without Team Rocket knowing it's us. I seem to recall way back when we were in Goldenrod City... There was something we could do here involving a Team Rocket uniform. Go here in the underground and talk to this guy. Huh? You a newcomer too? We had to recruit new members for the radio tower mission. Then we ran out of uniforms. I heard the studio had some, so I decided to borrow one. Since you're here, why don't you change as well? Sure. Look at you, pretty good. Oh, you should have tried to scare people walking around looking like that, okay? So now we actually get to dress as Team Rocket. It's every edgy kid's dream back in the day. Oh man, also reminded me that I used to have a Team Rocket shirt that was sadly no longer fitting me, so I eventually donated it. But, you know, still some pleasant memories of that. I mean, we don't look too out of place among Team Rocket's ranks. I mean, we got a wicked Pokemon with us. Ain't that right, Donnie? Alright, you can deal with that on your own time. So yeah, this whole session, hopefully we'll be taking care of everything involving Team Rocket's invasion of Goldenrod, and hopefully moving on with our journey. So now that we are all suited up, we can return to the entrance. Ha! You must be new. Look pretty good in the Team Rocket uniform, showing out them curves. Go on ahead. Alright, let's go. Oh, god damn it. Hey, Team Rocket, stop going around in groups and troubling people, you cowards! Hey, wait a minute. Are you July? What are you doing here? No way, you think you're strong now that you look like them? That's foolish, you shouldn't wear those things. Hey, what are you doing? Ow! No. I feel so violated. What, you? You're not a newcomer! Then battle with me! God damn it, June, we were so close to infiltrating this place, but you just had to step in. Ooh, Gabite, that's an interesting Pokemon to lead with here. Team Rocket's definitely not pulling back their punches here. So they've taken over the radio tower, and they're definitely playing for keeps, making sure that no one is going to interrupt their plans. So we got a lot of battles to do in this session, and trying to make sure my commentary is alright for this, given that's a very battle-heavy portion of the game, but we should be good. Alright, let's blast this dragon with a tri-attack to finish you off. Very thankful at this point we don't have to worry too much about Dragon Rage. It does a set 40 damage, but at this point we have Pokemon in the 100 HP area, so we really don't have to worry about too much. Prinplup I'm not too worried about. These things do naturally learn a few flying attacks, but at this level probably doesn't have anything nasty. I should know I did use the Piplup line back in my Platinum streams. Yeah, it has Peck, which does, like, really low damage to Dottie. We're good. That takes care of that. Ooh, so close to a level up there. You're strong! That I am. You're too powerful. You could spoil our plan. I have to inform the others. Oh, great. I see. You were trying to be sneaky. A typical idea of the meek. No matter. I'll let you handle this. I have to defeat the Dragon Tamer. What's his name? Lance? After that'll be your turn. Be ready for it. So yeah, that whole thing about disguising yourself as a Team Rocket grunt to try to infiltrate the tower. Not present in the original Gold and Silver. That was added for the remakes. And I don't know, it's a cute little scene, even if it is ultimately pointless. And it'd be really cool to see them do something like that in one of the future games. Of just really trying to sneak around an enemy base without being detected and all that. Why would they want to take over the radio tower? Well, we've already seen a bit of what they were doing. It's got these guys all over the floors now. We're Team Rocket. We like to cause trouble. Ooh, are you scared? Not really. I've dealt with you guys, like, so dang often. Normally I'd be a concern about this, because Dottie is 4 times weak to Bug. However, this thing is so low level, I don't really need to worry about it. Yep, almost got knocked out just by one fake out. Let's finish off with a tri-attack. Yeah, Team Rocket have definitely escalated when it comes to their threat level here. I mean, they were still pretty threatening back in the Generation 1 games with them stealing Pokemon, trying to get rare fossils from Mount Moon, and just general naughtiness, but here they definitely stepped up as they were in the 3 years since Giovanni officially disbanded Team Rocket. This new group made from its former members have really done all they can to try to bring the organization back to its former glory. And they've definitely escalated a lot of their plans. So compared to just like stealing Pokemon from trainers back in the original game, and now they've just senselessly mutilated Slowpokes back in the Slowpoke well by Azalea Town. They've done experiments in order to force Pokemon to transform and become stronger against their will. which also making things way more dangerous for the ecosystem. And now they've taken over the radio tower in order to use its transmitter to make their nefarious radio waves travel even further, being able to affect all Pokemon throughout the region. That's real bad. So yep, they've definitely stepped up their threat level. Not so much with their team compositions, obviously. These guys are still pretty weak compared to some of the other trainers we've been up against. You think you're a hero? I do. You don't really need to heal your HP, but I do want to get that I want to get this poison off of you. Also, you're level 33, so how about we give Snorkel a chance on the spotlight? It's certainly been a little while since we've been using you, and definitely want to try to use as much of a Snorkel as we can in some of these future sessions, because of a certain thing that could happen. And when I say could happen, I really mean it, because I have no idea if it's going to happen at all. How boring. It's far too easy to take over this place. Come on, keep me amused. Yeah, we can imagine security around here really wasn't that extreme. I mean, there are a few policemen around the Johto region, but not as big of the numbers as you see in, like, the Sinnoh region. And it definitely seems like a lot of the gym leaders haven't really been acting at all in trying to protect the region from Team Rocket. Which is a little disheartening. I mean, these guys have been kind of working in the underground, and they've only, like, just now made a public appearance. Somebody needs to put a beating on this mean Team Rocket. 3 years ago, even. I tried that. It didn't work. Huh? Today's password? Help, of course. Oh, cool. I know the password, so can I get points? No? Okay, fine. There are a few trainers here we could actually skip, but I'm going to clear them all out just so we can get plenty of experience. Because I'm not going to lie. Very decent chance that we're not going to be able to get to the level of the big boss that we'll be encountering at the end of this area. Yeah, the section of the game is kind of interesting because for the most part you're dealing with some pretty low level grunts. I mean, the highest level Pokemon we had to beat just to be able to unlock this segment of the game was level 35. And we're encountering Pokemon in the level 20s. Yeah, not gonna lie, as much as Heart Gold and Soul Silver does fix a lot of things with the Johto region and adding a lot of new content to it to make it more fleshed out and give the player a lot of more things to do, overall experience is still kind of compared to some other games. And it mainly has to go with, like, the levels of the trainers that you encounter, and especially on the wild Pokemon too. Because they just seem very underpowered compared to some other games, where they try to have it so that both wild Pokemon and trainers are at a good level of challenge for you at that point in the game. So yeah, for a lot of reasons this could be one of the easier games to do a Nuzlocke challenge in, just because a lot of the opponents you'll be facing are pretty low level, but at the same time there are a lot of high level boss encounters you have to deal with that are usually packing some pretty strong Pokemon. So that can be pretty bad. Yeah, just a really weird situation where it feels like these games are both really easy, but also pretty difficult. It's mostly the boss battles that are the real difficulty in the Heart Gold and Soul Silver games. Whereas with something like in X and Y, it's pretty much the opposite, where the regular trainers are actually the most difficult battles you have to go through. And then the gym leaders are actually kind of a joke. I'll get more into that when we eventually do stream the Generation 6 games, but yeah, it's a pretty interesting time, and actually some pretty challenging games. So we're actually really excited when we eventually get there. To trainers, Pokemon are their beloved partners. It's terrible how Team Rocket's trying to control Pokemon. I know. Let's head over this way first. An unknown child wandering here? Who are you? Hi, my name's July. Pleasure to meet you. Garrett. It's kind of a weird name, I don't know. Sorry to all the Garretts out there. How dare you use my own starter Pokemon against me? I will say, since it's kind of seen this a lot, just in this run in general, but whenever I needed to train up my Pokemon later, I'd always encounter frickin' wow, this guy has 2 starters on his team. But yeah, for whatever reason, whenever I went to grind up some of the Pokemon that I wanted to level up in the box, usually I would always encounter a couple of starter Pokemon out in the grass that I am no longer able to actually try and catch because of the rule set here. And God, it just, I don't know, it's kind of weird feeling because I really like the opportunity to try to actually catch and use some of the starter Pokemon that I never got to use in some of my earlier streams. And just be really nice to get to show off a lot of them. I was very lucky. We managed to pull Chimchar as one of our starter Pokemon options at the start of this game. For whatever reason, we just had like 0 luck in actually pulling a starter Pokemon as an actual Pokemon that we could use in this playthrough. And I don't know, something about that's just kind of disheartening. I'd at least like the ability to have it as an option, you know? But I guess it's not all too bad, because we still managed to pull a lot of powerful Pokemon. It really does show that even in these kind of challenge runs, especially randomizers, you don't need to rely on starters. Just if you're able to get a good pull of some pretty decently powerful Pokemon, you're just able to build a good party even without them. I took you too lightly. Yes, you did. Okay, it hasn't happened yet. I'm still anticipating the moment where it does. Given my experience with some of the other randomizer runs I did, I don't know, it could be happening very soon. It could be happening in a couple more levels, but still gonna anticipate it all throughout this chunk of the game. It feels great ordering Pokemon to commit crimes. Yeah, these guys have like no standards when it comes to actually raising their Pokemon well. Ooh, Probopass. It's actually kind of strong. And also very defensive, but we should be able to handle it. So this thing is Rock Steel type, which means it has a big weakness to fighting, making it perfect for Sun to go up against. Speaking of Sun, very soon there's going to be a time where I want to focus on him specifically for leveling up, because we are getting pretty close to him receiving a very nice power-up once he gets to level 36. So once we get him to level 35, that's when we're going to really focus on grinding up this monkey and make sure he gets as quickly as he can to that level. The Team Rocket boss has locked himself in. The director can open it. He's up on the 5th floor. Please save him. Yeah, so we can tell here from this door, it is locked and we need a card key in order to access it. So there is nothing we can do with that for the time being. Wow, just more guys using starter Pokemon here. Just taunt me more, why don't you? I also feel bad for this, because Bulbasaur is so cute, one of my favorite Pokemon ever, and seeing Team Rocket abusing him is just so sad to me. Ooh, Pidgeotto. The best you could have for a flying move at this level, I think, is Gust, so I'm not too worried about this. Ow. Alright, that was pretty weak, being it was a 40 base power attack. And we are 10 levels higher than this thing. Alright, go for Mach Punch. That will outspeed and take you out. Next up, Rattata. It's actually a pretty standard Pokemon for Team Rocket to use in the vanilla games. And down you go. And last is Cherubi. It's another Pokemon I kind of want to use more. Kind of one of the lower tier grass types, but I don't know, it's just a very cute design. And I like the gimmick with its evolution, Cherum, how it starts off as a flower bud, but when it's in sunny weather, it transforms into a blossoming flower. Now that guy just goes full-blown Metal Gear at the end there. I failed my duties. I'll be docked pay for this. Guys are getting paid? Yeah, there have been a few times where I've actually used the Cherubi line. But nothing really too serious. I mean, I have used one in my Brilliant Diamond Nuzlocke, which I started a few years ago. I actually never finished that run. Why? Why to suffer through this? Meow, help me! I actually get to meet Mary here, as well as Ben. Team Rocket, there's something they lack. It's music. Music enriches people's heart and soul. Music lovers would never do such horrible things at a place like the radio tower. I don't know, have you ever been to concerts, man? Proton, the leader of this radio tower mission. He's so cool. Who are you? If you're in the way of Proton, I mean Team Rocket, I won't allow that. So apparently one of the Team Rocket executives has kind of a fan following, doesn't he? I mean, I've certainly seen a lot of worse people gaining followings in real life. But enough about real-world politics. Let's just smash these animals against each other until one of them dies. Ooh, Munchlax. It's gonna sound a little weird, but I never really played a Pokemon game where I was using a Munchlax on my team and getting it evolved into Snorlax just over the course of the game. It seems like whenever I am raising this particular Pokemon line, I just catch a Snorlax and then breed it for Munchlax. I don't know, maybe someday I want to, I don't know, just have a... I don't know, maybe do a run where I switch out my starter for Munchlax, just kind of raise that little guy. He is one of the stronger baby Pokemon. Although he is also one of the slowest Pokemon out there, but, you know, gotta take the good with the bad. Oh no, they're so useless! Hey, not all your Pokemon you used were bad. Team Rocket Proton are all I need. Who cares about Pokemon? Yeah, you can see why I really don't like Team Rocket that much. I mean, at least with organizations like Aqua and Magma, at least they do care about Pokemon to an extent with trying to change the environment in order to better suit the needs of a specific Pokemon. In this case, no. All Team Rocket sees Pokemon for is a way of making money and asserting their dominance over others. Which in a way does make it one of the more realistic of the villain teams. This is a bit interesting. So, Scarab being a bug fighting type, that means that rock type attacks from Golem will do neutral damage, and ground type moves will do half damage because we're bug. So I think Scarab's got this. Still a scary Pokemon to go up against here, but he should be fine. Here we go. See, we're starting to see Team Rocket using a bit of some more stronger Pokemon now. Oh wow, using my own Hippopotas against me. Although, I don't have a Hippopotas anymore. So, yeah, as you can no doubt tell on the left side of the stream here, I did drop some art for our Hippo Sahara now that she is fully evolved. Just to show off my little interpretation of her now that she has achieved her final form. And yeah, it was kind of fun just thinking of what I want to do with her particular design, given that when we evolved her, she gained a pretty gnarly ability. One that's going to be completely useless to us in this game, because I don't even think we can get plates in order to change her type in this game. But it's still just pretty cool lore-wise that she inherited the main ability of Arceus, the creator of all of existence. So yeah, it was definitely fun getting to incorporate some of Arceus' features into her design. One thing I kind of regret with the art I drew of her is that because the female Hippowdon have a very dark color scheme to them compared to the male Hippowdon, it meant that with the art I drew of her, we have a dark body against a dark background. And yeah, that was kind of a mistake on my part, but I don't know, I think it still all fits pretty nicely with the overall theme that I wanted to go with her, being this very mystical entity now. Just totally glance over the fact I fought another starter Pokemon right now. Do you honestly believe you can stop Team Rocket? Bitch, I have stopped your organization in at least 2 other games on this channel. You stand no chance. We've reached the director's office after fighting all this way here. Let's go talk to the man himself. Do you hear me? I am the director. We have decided to broadcast wonderful shows to praise Team Rocket. Everyone, I don't want to hear you complain. Just do a good job to... Yikes! I'm busy impersonating the... Who are you? Oh no, it's you again, July. No! I was pretending to be the director to influence the entire region to support Team Rocket. This time I won't hold back. Give me all you've got. So once again, we're facing off against Patrol. This guy has a full team of Pokemon. So yeah, the gimmick with this guy in vanilla, his entire team is comprised of 5 Coughings and 1 Wheezing. And since we're playing a same strength randomizer, that means, yeah, we're going to go up against some pretty underpowered Pokemon here, and then at least 1 Pokemon that's going to be kind of a threat to us. Let's see what we get. Finneon. Why would you send that one out against... Okay, it has Intimidate. I'll give you that. Besides that, there's not much else you can do to us. Ooh, critical hit. That just completely bypassed the Intimidate drop you put on Sparkles. And what else we got? Fippy! This Pokemon line has given us so much trouble in the past. Oh, I can't wait for this. Ow. Alright, that's obviously going to be the best you can do. Yeah, Solar Beam should be able to one-shot you. So, kind of an observation I want to make with the team that we have built so far, which, gotta say, pretty stacked team, and I'm really hoping we're able to bring this crew to the Hall of Fame, considering everything they have been through at this point. But for whatever reason, I just find it very funny that 5 out of 6 of our team members all have names that start with the letter S. Like, oh man, that really hasn't happened in any of my other playthroughs on this channel, of just such a imbalance with the first letters of our team names. Closest was Platinum, where we had half the team with names that started with the letter P, but yeah, I just kind of unintentionally just I put a big focus on S names in this run. I don't know why, it just kind of happened. Goodbye, Magby, you potential other starter option we could have had. We're really going to get a benefit from this Drizzle here. And Zangoose, I guess that is replacing your Weezing. It's actually a pretty formidable Pokemon at this point, so let's hope for the best. Yeah, this is a Drizzle boosted Surf, so yeah, we were in no trouble at all. God, Snorkel, you've been too good to us, just such a great team member. Really hoping we're gonna get to see you in your final form. And finishing with Nidorina. What? Am I losing? Yeah, that's kind of what happens when 5 out of 6 of your Pokemon are taken out, Petrol. And here goes number 6. There we go. It's a pretty simple battle, all things considered. Okay, I'll tell you where he is. Listen carefully. We stashed the real director in the underground warehouse. It's at the far end of the Goldenrod Tunnel. I'm a nice guy. I'll give you the basement key to get to the underground warehouse. Take it with gratitude. We get the basement key by beating Petrol. So yep, this is about as far as we can go in the radio tower for the time being. If we are going to fully stop Team Rocket's invasion here, we have to head into the Goldenrod Underground in order to rescue the director, so that he can give us the key we need to finally reach the Team Rocket boss. Before we do that, we need a heal because, yeah, there's a lot of battles in there, and our team has exhausted quite a bit of our health and PP. Alright, I'm actually kind of glad that we came out of that gauntlet of battles not really unscathed. This does show that, as weak as Team Rocket is, they can still be a kind of a threat, you know? And you gotta have that with a villainous team. God, there's so much other stuff I want to talk about right now, but there's still a few things that are going to come up that I don't want to interrupt some of the things I wanted to discuss. Let's heal up the team, and pretty much good to go. But do want to show off now that we're in the PC some things that I wanted to show. Namely, in between sessions, I felt like training up some of the Pokemon in our box. Namely, Odia is now a Skuntank, and also, look at that ability. Motor Drive is so good. It's an immunity to electric type attacks that also boosts the speed of the user when they're hit by electric, which can be pretty helpful to us in the future. And then I also went and evolved a Vertibro, who could potentially be pretty good. Mild is not a very good nature for you, but gaining Intimidate's really solid, just being able to debuff opponents whenever you want. And while we're here, there is something I want to rectify. As it turns out, we did pick up a thick club during our adventure. So we're just going to go ahead and give that to Vertibro. So I believe that boosts your attack by 50%, or maybe it doubles it. Either way, that is significantly going to strengthen our Marowak. So he could potentially be a pretty good backup should anything happen to Sahara. And we also got some other ground Pokemon that could be useful as well, but that's about all that we can expect for the time being. Yep, a few little changes to our team, but nothing too major. We're getting a call from our mom now. She's got us another item. Alright, we can pop by the department store and pick that up before we head into the underground. That sounds pretty good, wouldn't you say, Dottie? Choice Scarf! Ooh! That's definitely one of the best items our mother can give us. So happy we picked this up. It's going to be so useful to us, because it's definitely been useful to me in a lot of runs. So, the choice scarf our mother gave us. This is a pretty damn useful competitive item that's also pretty useful during the main story. So the deal with this item, it boosts a Pokemon's speed. I believe it either doubles it or boosts it by half of its max speed. But the main draw is that your Pokemon is limited to only being able to use one move while it's sent out into battle. So yeah, this could be very handy when we are later in the game, as I definitely know quite a few battles where it would be really helpful to try to outspeed our opponent if we feel like we don't outspeed them with our Pokemon's current stat build. Which, at the moment, we do have some pretty fast Pokemon. Some of us are a little slow, but not by that wide of a margin. So, yep, I can definitely imagine the Choice Scarf would be pretty useful to us going forward. And for the record, that is not the last of the items that I wanted to get from our mother. So I'm going to have to wait a little while before we can see when we want to stop getting items from her. Walk over here in the underground. Team Rocket members in black suits have been running around. I was wondering what was going on. So you took on Team Rocket. You are impressive. You may be able to face the legendary Never mind. I must go now. What's that she's saying about legendary Pokemon? I mean, I already encountered and captured a Moltres during this run, so I guess she got us there. No entry beyond this point. Yeah, whatever. Let's use our basement key to unlock the door. Not again! Just give me a second. We're kind of experiencing technical difficulties here. Because this game just loves to pull this crap. So while we're just kind of loading things back up, I just wanted to mention, because of the way that the Kimono Girl brought up legendary Pokemon, it reminded me of something that happened while I was grinding up some of our Pokemon for this session. So, while I was training, I encountered the legendary Pokemon Entei roaming around, and I figured, why not? I threw one of my Quick Balls at it, as I knew that the Quick Balls were pretty much the best thing I could use against it on the first turn it's out in battle. The dang ball shook 3 times, and then Entei broke out and ran away. Just, my god, how often does that happen? Aw, man, if I had inflicted like a status ailment or something on it, we potentially could have caught it there. And that would be a hell of a teammate to have at this point, but yeah, I really don't know if we are going to get the Raikou and Entei. They're just pretty dang elusive and very hard to catch, so there's not much we can do about that. What we can do is face these Team Rocket guys down here. I don't care if you're lost. You show up here, you're nothing but a victim. Shows what you know, buddy. You have a Surskit. You stand no chance. Not even afraid of the fact that you're a bug type. Going up against a grass dark type, you're still dead. God, I still think it's cool I'm using a Pokemon with nature power in this run. I really don't see a lot of people play this move, and it is really cool to use when you're doing a challenge run like this. Yeah, you think you're cool, huh? Not just cool, I'm ice cold. Oh, yeah, he said ice in our veins. Wow. Alright, before going any farther, highly recommend having your Pokemon fully healed and saving before you go any farther. Oh, god damn it, what now? Hold it. What I told you before was to deceive you. I thought let me tail you and it'd lead me to Lance. Well, he never showed up. No matter. I was planning to beat you after Lance, but since you're here, I'll repay my debts. Yeah, we really have made a fool of this guy a lot during this journey, haven't we? And he just doesn't fucking learn. So we're going up against June here, and ooh, already using a pretty strong Pokemon for this fight. Floatzel. That is a pretty powerful and fast water type. But I think we should be good. Okay, this thing does outspeed Dottie. Not surprised there. This thing is really fast. But provided no surprises come from you, we should be good. Alright, that takes care of Floatzel. What's up next? Ooh, and we got a level up on Dottie. Very good. Next is Snover. Well, I definitely don't want to take an ice attack from this thing. Also, Sandstorm. Really? Alright, Sun, you'll be taking on this one. It's actually pretty funny that he is using an ice type in this battle here, because by this point in Vanilla, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver, he has a Sneasel added to his party, which is implied to be the very same Pokemon that he stole from the guy in Cianwood who gives us the Shuckle. But yeah, you're pretty easy to take out. Just a single fire attack, and this thing just goes to ashes. Hey, 420 experience. Okay, taking a little bit of chip damage here. What's next? Chimico. Okay, I do not want to risk getting hit by a psychic attack here. Yeah, our best bet's gotta be Dottie. I really can't imagine Chimico having much that can handle a Shiftry, so we should be good. Okay, you have Yawn, and that's annoying, but we'll be good. Just weather the sandstorm, you should be good. Payback? Yeah, we have a decent chance of being able to take this thing out. You can definitely see here our rivals' levels are pretty good. They're about on par with us at the moment. Well, slightly under us, but, you know. Alright, sadly, we are going to be put to sleep because of Yawn. However, we have plenty of full restores that we picked up during our journey, so we'll go ahead and use one to fully heal Dottie. Yeah! Now this thing is using Uproar. That's an interesting move. It locks the user into only being able to use that move for a few turns. And while that move is active, it also prevents any Pokemon in the battle from being put to sleep. Which is kind of interesting if you're looking to try to ruin an opponent's rest strategies. But you have nothing too major we have to deal with. Ow. Alright, next up is B-Barrel. Now that's not too bad. I know this thing does have a few tricky moves, but Solar Beam should be able to finish you easily. Ooh, Amnesia. Yeah, it's gonna buff its special defense so that I can try to live this Solar Beam. I don't know how this is gonna go here. Alright, that's a good hit. Not quite enough. Great, and we're yawned. So we're gonna go to sleep the next turn, which means that there's no point in using Solar Beam. Let's go for Nature Power, just see what the raw damage from Tri-Attack can do here. Because if this doesn't KO, then the Sandstorm should be able to finish off B-Barrel. Alright, good thing that Hyper Fang missed us. But yeah, not quite enough to get the KO. You know what? I don't really see Donnie being too useful for the rest of this battle, so let's go to Scarab and finish this B barrel off. Man, our rival here has actually been pretty tricky here. Not only setting up the Sandstorm to wear our team down, but also has Pokemon that can use sleep strats against us. He's definitely trying to wear us out, which is quite the contrast from how some of the other battles with him have gone. Sandstorm still rages, because of course it is. This is Gen 4 and weather is crap. And his rival final opponent is an unevolved Kakuna. Oh man. You are so screwed. So yeah, the thing about this, the reason why our rival starter still isn't fully evolved. A unique quirk with this battle specifically is that the final forms of the starter Pokemon in the Johto region and have very different levels that they need to get to the final form. So you get Feraligatr at level 30, Meganium at level 32, and Typhlosion at level 36. And in this battle, his starter caps at level 34. So yeah, in this battle, if you specifically chose Chikorita as your starter, then that means that the Cyndaquil that he would have chosen never becomes a Typhlosion by the time it gets to this battle. Just a interesting little quirk about this particular game. I don't understand. Is what that Lance guy said true? That I don't treat Pokemon properly? Love? Trust? Are they really what I lack? Are they keeping me from winning? I just don't understand. But it's not going to end here. Not now. Not because of this. I won't give up my dream of becoming the world's best Pokemon trainer. Everyone has their reasons for getting strong. Even he. Oh, our mother already got us another useful item. Well, we'll be heading to the department store very soon after this, so we'll pick that up in a bit. However, our team definitely took a bit of a beating in that last fight, so let's heal up. A few of us. Really don't think we're going to need too many heals on some of our teammates. But regardless, we did take quite a few beatings in that battle, so it's nice to make sure that most of us are all healed up. Alright, Dottie, you can get out of the front here. So want definitely to have Snorkel and Sun get some attention here. So I know these guys have something very nice coming up. Yep, this should be good. So now that we've taken care of our rival here, we can go forward. Open one door, another closes, but you can't get where you want to go. Yeah, whatever, buddy. So this one here, ooh, it's got a Machamp. That is quite nasty. We should be fine. It's pretty low level, despite being a very powerful Pokemon. So let's just pray we can one-shot. Yep, there we go. God, Snorkel, I love you so much. And Snorkel gets to level 35, being the first Pokemon or team to do so. Shield on. Yeah, that is significantly less threatening than what we had just fought. So this will go down all the same. Very good. And next up is Starly. Yeah, your team just significantly got weaker with each member, didn't it? I mean, gotta admire this guy's gumption of leading with his strongest Pokemon. It really didn't help him in the long run, but, you know. Oh no, I was sunk by indecision! That's right. Snorkel. You can go in the far back now. And Sun will take the lead for the remainder of this chunk of the game. Ooh, Never Melt Ice. That boosts the power of Ice-type attacks. Could be worth it to teach it to one or Pokemon in a bit. So the gimmick of this area in the basement, we have a couple of sliding doors here that we need to figure out a way to open. And as you can see here, there are a lot of different switches around here that we can access that are able to make the doors move. Fork over your goods! Ooh, looks like we got some robbers down here. Yep, burglars. A pretty elusive trainer class that you don't see in a whole lot of games. In fact, I think they're only in the Generation 1 and 2 games and the remakes. So yeah, quite an interesting set of battles here. There are some pretty standard opponents, all things considered. Not really anything that are going to be that much of a threat to us. But, you know, it's still nice to see some new opponents here. So while we're dealing with the rest of the battles around here, I want to talk a little bit. Ooh, Venusaur. It's actually quite the strong fellow there. While we're dealing with some of the battles around here, I want to talk about some stuff that I am quite excited to talk about. So, this is going to be a pretty stacked week for me. Not in terms of work, thankfully, but in terms of the games that are going to be released this week. Because just tomorrow, we're going to have a brand new Sonic game, specifically Sonic Superstars being released, which I'm definitely excited about. Just hang on a sec. I'm gonna try and see if I can fix Pokelink here. No, that's not really... I don't know what is up with this thing right now. Okay, it looks like I got it fixed. Ah, I swear, this application can be so weird. But yeah, we got ourselves Sonic Superstars being released very soon, which I'm very excited about. So I'm definitely going to be spending like all day tomorrow just blitzing through the game. Especially because I'm definitely planning to stream that particular game very soon. After all, I did stream Sonic Mania on the channel, so I felt like it would be nice to play the next main Sonic game that's going to be released for the channel as well. Lombright, not too worried about you, so we'll go to Scarab. But yeah, besides that, later in the weekend, I believe Friday, we're also going to see the release of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which I am obviously very excited about. Been quite a while since we've seen another 2D Mario platformer, and this one looks like it's gonna be a blast. And definitely really excited about it, because Mario Bros. Pretty much the first franchise that ever got me into gaming in the first place. So, you know, Mario's a very special place in my heart. So, yeah, just everything about this game looks so good. I'm so excited about finally getting to play it. It's going to be such a good time, I know. Man, we got 2 big games of both Sonic and Mario coming out this week. Isn't that crazy? Confined by the doors, are we? Let you in a secret if you can beat me. Alright, we'll deal with this guy in a bit. He's got a Bulbasaur. Alright, this is going to be a pretty easy battle, so we'll just blaze on through. Alright, level 35 on Sun. So at this point, I want to keep Sun in the lead of our party as much as we can, so that he can get as much experience as he needs to get to the next level. I know I have rare candy, so I could just instantly evolve him now, but come on, I actually want to work for it. Besides, I like to save my rare candies for later, when they are more useful and more strategically useful, you know? Ooh, already got a lot of good experience on that Rapidash. So good. Alright, a hint. Look at the color of the door switches. You push a color switch, the same color door opens up. Yep, so that's our hint about what we can do with these doors. Let's go ahead and heal Sun. He took a bit of a licking in that battle, so nice to make sure you're healed up. Very good. Alright, so we got ourselves a bunch of doors that we can open here. So we flip the red switch. That closes all of the doors associated with the red rooms. We flip green, that opens all those. Then if we hit blue, that opens the blue doors, which opens the path over here. And there's a violet switch, which we can hit to open this door, giving us a quick way back in and out of this area. Are you lost? No, you can't be. You don't have that scared look. I'll give you something to be scared about. A woman! Oh, so scary! Oh, Dragonair. That's actually really good Pokemon. You're probably not going to give too much trouble to us, so yeah, just punch it. We should be good. Ow. Yeah, if Slam is the most damage this thing's going to do, because I know that's the most damaging attack Dragonair can have at this level, then we got nothing to worry about there. Really good experience. Damn. And Munchlax. Go down just the same as the other one we fought before. Ow, don't screech at me. So yeah, in terms of some other stuff that I wanted to talk about, so very recently in the last week, I felt like playing through Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon again because it's been a while since I really picked up that game, and I wanted to continue from where I left off at the point I did in the post-game of that particular game. Which, if you are looking for like a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon to pick up for the first time, probably don't start with Super, because I remember that one being pretty dang difficult, and a lot of its mechanics can take a little while to get used to, especially with the Emera system, which is that you can find certain items inside dungeons that you can equip to your characters on their held items. And then those Emeras can give you various effects that can benefit you on your journey through the dungeons that you're going through. Yeah, I do still really like Super Mystery Dungeon, and going for the post-game has been pretty nice, although a lot of the dungeons in the post-game, as you can expect, are pretty dang difficult, and been in a lot of occasions where I have been fighting some Pokemon in the dungeons, and I feel like I should be able to just one-shot them, but they stick around for like way longer than they have to, and then next thing I know, my party is getting wiped out, and I'm using up all my reviving items, and it's such an annoying situation I'm in. Ooh, but you know what's not annoying? Sun is learning Close Combat, one of the strongest damn fighting moves in this game. 120 base power at the cost of our defense and special defense being lowered every time we use it. Yep, I'm definitely teaching this to our boy. It's easily one of the strongest attacks he can have in the entire game. We're going for it. Blast it! But that's not the only thing we get now! Sun is evolving! It's time to become the Monkey King that you are destined to be! Anyone else feel like going on a journey to the west? Oh, I'm so happy about this. What is it, Ian? July, howdy, it's Ian. How are you? Here's the tips I learned from watching you battle take down a wild Nidoran the other day. Thanks to you, my Pokemon's much stronger. Get the chance to meet again. I hope you show me some more tricks. Aw, that's actually a pretty sweet call. But yep, our son is now fully evolved. Look at them stats. Obviously an emphasis in power and speed. The defenses and HP aren't all that great for you, but ooh, that's actually pretty fitting with your transformation adding some bits of armor to you. Battle Armor is such a good ability in a Nuzlocke run. Prevents your Pokemon from receiving critical hits from the opponent. So we never have to worry about our Pokemon being in crit range here. Yeah, between this and what you had before with no guard, I will definitely take Battle Armor. That is a really, really good ability for us. Oh man, I am so happy. We've had Sun since the very beginning of this run. I've really been excited to use an Infernape in this playthrough. And now we finally managed to achieve that. I really have no words here. Infernape's just been one of my favorite Pokemon, especially because of the Diamond and Pearl anime. And I'm really excited to get to use him for the rest of this journey. Let's hope we can bring him to the end. I lost. Please forgive me, Giovanni. You receive no forgiveness from me. Oh! We got the Dawnstone here! That's the item we need to evolve our Snorunt into a Frozlass. I'm so happy we got that. I remember you. You got me good at our hideout. And on the subject of things I'm happy about, yeah, we run into this Team Rocket run again here. I don't know, I just find it really cool that we get to meet the same NPC at different points in the story. Yeah, just having this one grunt with his signature laugh, I don't know, I really like him. Out of all the Team Rocket grunts out there, he's one of the best. Ooh, Frozlass, normally you'd be a threat for Scarab, but not now because we have Scrappy. Take that! And yeah, how fitting that the goofy Team Rocket grunt just happened to have the same Pokemon I was excited about us finally being able to have, now that we got the Dawnstone. That was a blast! Goofy grunt. Sadly, this is the last time we're gonna get to see this particular NPC in the game. So, thank you for everything, Goofy Team Rocket grunt. How'd you get this far? I guess it can't be helped. I'll dispose of you. It shall be I that disposes of you, fiend. Now, Chikorita. It's like the second time we've encountered Chikorita in the stream session. Go away! Kind of want to mention this now before I just completely forget about it. But as I was setting up all of my things for this stream to make sure we're all good, for whatever reason, my Desmume, which is the application I'm using for actually playing Pokemon SoulSilver here, for whatever reason, the audio was not working on it, so I had to fiddle with the audio a bit in order to figure out what was wrong. Yeah, for whatever reason, it was just not working properly, and I was really worried that we were going to have to do this session with no game audio. Thankfully, that was not the case. So yeah, it's always pretty upsetting when we have a little bit of a technical scare, like Just a few days ago, I was very worried about my PC, because it didn't seem like it was booting up properly, but finally managed to get it working, so no harm done. Who? What? You came to rescue me? Thank you! The radio tower, what's happening there? Taken over by Team Rocket? Here, take this card key. Thank you, sir. Use that to open the shutters on the 3rd floor. I'm begging you to help. There's no telling what they'll do if they control the transmitter. They may even be able to control Pokémon using a special signal. You're the only one I can call on. Please save the radio tower and all the Pokémon nationwide. Don't worry, Mr. Director. We'll get Team Rocket off the air. I promise you that. And by making our way up these stairs now, look at where we are. It's a very familiar spot, as we're actually back in the Goldenrod department store underground. And yeah, it turns out there's a lot of items here that I just never noticed. Thankfully, we're able to detect these hidden items with our item finder, so locating them is going to be a snap. Whoa, Shell Bell? That was hiding here this whole time! So the Shell Bell's kind of like a weaker version of an item called the Leftovers. It's a pretty neat item that allows your Pokemon to restore a little bit of HP in battle, and the amount of HP that they get restored is based on the damage that they manage to inflict on the opponent. So yeah, it's kind of a useful item, one I could equip to some of my tankier hard hitters. In fact, why not? Let's give that to Sahara. It's pretty much the perfect item for her. She has a lot of HP, she's very powerful. It seems only fitting for her to receive an item like that. And on the topic of held items, I never really brought it up, but I decided to give the Amulet Coin and the Luck Incense to Scarab and Sparkles, just so that they have something that they can hold. And also, those items are very practical, as it makes them able to boost the amount of money they receive from trainer battles. And very quickly, let's pick up the item that our mother sent us, which, with just some Charty Berries, nothing really necessary for us. Alright, let's go heal up at the Pokemon Center, and then we should be all good to head back to the radio tower to finish off Team Rocket's radio performance once and for all. Yeah, I guess I will save evolving our Snorunt for a little bit later. Definitely once all of this action has calmed down, you know? Alright, so back in the radio tower we go. We now have the card key necessary to reach the boss at the very top of the tower. Let's just get on over there and deal with the last of the Team Rocket grunts. Which I must say, we did manage to boost our levels quite a bit getting over here, so we should be in a good position to take on our final opponent here. Why'd the door open? Did you have something to do with this? Yes, I did. It's called cause and effect, buddy. Let's take care of this guy. Now, if I remember correctly, this Team Rocket grunt we're actually fighting right now is the last Team Rocket grunt we're ever going to have to fight in the story of this game. Not the last one we are going to encounter in this game, but it's the last one in the main story. So let's just take him out. Ooh, critical hit. Sparkles, you are not holding back against that Luxio. Kind of savage when you think about it. Ooh, call from our mother. Amulet Coin is already paying off. Heh, paying, and it's a money-boosting item? Now, never mind. Look at that! We were already told that Proton was here. So let's go deal with him. Hey, buddy! Now, wait just 1 second. Aren't you the one who got in our way at the Slowpoke well? I see, you're doing all this because you want to make me angry. Be careful. But since you seem to wish it, I'll show you the full extent of a Team Rocket executive's wrath. Sadly, I do not remember what Proton used when we first fought him, so I have no frame of reference for comparing his team now. He's got a Torkoal. Sadly, levels here really aren't too good for you, buddy. Yeah, I'm not too worried about this thing. It is pretty powerful and defensive, but it's also slow as molasses, so we can just easily just wail away at this thing. And also, we don't have to worry about this thing packing a certain move that made a certain gym leader rather infamous in the Nuzlocking community. Goddamn, that battle was always really rough of dealing with Flannery. Ooh, yeah, Flamethrower. That's actually very strong for you to have. But we're able to endure it. We're good. But yeah, that battle against Flannery's Torkoal is so freaking powerful. Like, even in my own Nuzlocke run attempt, that was a very rough battle for us to try to get through. As her... Yeah, her Torkoal really dished out a lot of damage, even against Pokemon that resist fire attacks. And my Marshtomp at the time, Harrison, he almost got taken out by that thing, but we were able to just push through. Ooh, we can see here this thing has a very nasty attack I want to watch out for. Luckily, you're a grass fighting type, so I believe Aerial Ace should be able to one-hit kill you. There we go. Yeah, Breloom are nasty in a Nuzlocke run because they have counter. If you don't have a flying type that can just one-shot it, they can just mess you up. Speaking of messing us up, do we want to have Thunderfang? This is an interesting move because there are a few things that make it better but also worse than Spark. So Spark has 65 power, 100 accuracy, and a chance to paralyze. Thunderfang, however, has the same power, 95 accuracy, so a 5% higher chance of missing, but it has the ability to either make the opponent flinch or become paralyzed. Honestly, I don't think that added chance of flinch is going to be worth it. I'd rather just stick with a more accurate attack with one effect to it, rather than one that's less accurate but has 2 effects. Ooh, Mother's calling again. We're getting so much money from all these battles. No wonder we're getting a lot of deliveries from Mommy. So good. So we can pick up some Stardust here, getting us some even more money later. And we should be good to advance farther. So look at that, we got another executive we gotta fight here. Yep, let's move around the team a bit. Let's give Dottie a chance in the spotlight. I mean, we've already used Dottie a lot in this session, but, you know, just want to make sure everyone has used a good amount here. And make sure everyone gets their levels up. Hey, you! Remember me from the hideout Mahogany Town? This time it looks like you're really all alone. All alone. So, it should be quite easy. Bring it. Let's finish this. Time to face Ariana once more. And sadly, we do not have Lance in order to back us up here. Ugh, Piloswine. That is a pretty nasty Pokemon to run into right now. This thing is very bulky, and being an ice ground type, it hits a lot of Pokemon for super effective damage. What do I want to do here? Either Snorkel or Scarab would be good for this. I'm a little worried about Dottie because this thing is very close to her level, and an ice attack from this thing would hurt. That's most likely going to go for an ice move, so Snorkel would be a good switch in. Yep, it went for Icy Wind. Now that does lower our speed, but we should still be pretty good here. Alright, we're a little bruised, but we should be good. Alright, that's pretty much guaranteed to knock this thing out, especially with the bit of damage we did with Fake Out. Yep, very good. Alright, that was a good move to take out Piloswine. Definitely don't underestimate that Pokemon. It can do a lot to us. And next opponent is Hypno. Not too worried about this one. It's pretty bulky, and definitely good for inflicting statuses on opponents, but should be able to handle this thing. Yeah, for whatever reason, going for Meditate right now, which, sure, that's fine. There are better moves you could have done. So, just want to say here, it is rather unfortunate to see Ariana using a Pokemon like Hypno. Like, that Pokemon already has a pretty negative reputation to it. You're only feeding that opinion people have on it here. And the last opponent here is Chatot. Normal flying type from the Sinnoh region. And quite an annoying one, honestly. But not enough to take us out. Whew! That was a rough one. Snorkel actually took a bit of a beating just soloing this battle. But we're all good. What a waste not to use your strength to do bad things. People like you will never in a million years understand their brilliance. It's too bad. I've really come to respect your strength. Yeah, well, I don't respect you. Especially after what you did to my seahorse. No, it's okay, buddy. We'll get you healed up. Yep, we'll give you some soda pop. Here you go, buddy. Got some ginger ale for you. And just in case we need you in this battle, let's heal up Sparkles. Yeah, our levels are pretty good for this next fight coming up, but at the same time, yeah, some of us are a bit under level for this fight, so just gonna have to see how this next one goes. Gonna ride the elevator to the very top on the observation deck. Definitely a more cinematic spot for our final battle against the Team Rocket boss here, compared to just fighting him in an office back in the original Gen 2 games. You ready for this, Dottie? Yes, you're on the lookout, alright. Let's do this. Oh, you managed to get this far. You must be quite the trainer. We intend to take over this radio tower and officially announce our comeback. That should bring our boss Giovanni back from his solitary training. We're going to regain our former glory. I will not allow you to interfere with our meticulous plans. The leader of Neo Team Rocket, Archer, is our final opponent here at the radio tower. Leading with a Beldum. Honestly, not too bad of a first Pokemon to encounter here. So Archer here is quite an interesting character with how much significance this guy has gained ever since he first served as the boss of Neo Team Rocket in Gold and Silver. So, in a lot of the remakes of the Generation 1 games, specifically Fire Red, Leaf Green, Let's Go Pikachu, and Let's Go Eevee, they've included Archer in quite a few moments to get to show him off as a member of Team Rocket before the events of the Johto games. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, he goes unnamed, but it's heavily implied that the Team Rocket grunt that you fight at the very end of the Sevi Island questline in the post-game of Fire Red and Leaf Green is Archer. And along with that, Archer is explicitly shown to be an admin in Team Rocket during the events of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So it's very cool just the amount of significance this guy has gained over time of actually being a significant player in the events of the Kanto games before the events of Gold and Silver. It's quite cool. Alright, next opponent here is Charmander. Not liking the fact that this thing is outspeeding Sahara. It's actually dishing out quite a bit of damage to us. Luckily, this should be able to KO you. Let's take this sucker out and restore some HP with our Shell Bell. Not going to be very much because Charmander has very low HP. Alright, gotta level up on Dottie. And then our last opponent here is Pinsir. We can't have you getting in the way before news of our resurgence reaches Giovanni. I feel it's only fitting to end this the way we started it. Oh, that Pinsir setting up Swords Dance. That is real bad because this thing's already a very powerful Pokemon. We gotta take this thing out now, or we're gonna regret it. Not enough to get the KO. Really, it's going for Swords Dance again. There's no way this thing outspeeds Infernape. Let's finish this. Bam! Alright, I was a little worried about your ace being level 38 and our strongest Pokemon was level 36. But you just wasted time setting up with Swords Dance, bro. No! Forgive me, Giovanni! It's over. How could this be? Our dreams have come to naught. I was not up to the task after all. Like Giovanni has done before me. I will disband Team Rocket here today. Farewell. It's finally over. Team Rocket is done. Oh, you've already defeated them? Thank you! Your courageous actions have saved Pokemon nationwide! You're well worth this! Please, take it! We obtain the Silver Wing. There used to be a tower right here. When the tower was replaced with a radio tower, that Silver Wing was found at the top of the tower. I'd heard from a friend from Cianwood City you can go down the cave at Whirl Islands when you have a Silver Wing. I have to get back to my office. See you. Oh, I almost forgot. According to my friend from Cianwood City, the legendary Pokemon will not appear if you just go down the cave at Whirl Islands with only that Silver Wing. Apparently there's something else you need, or something like that. I wonder what it was. I can't remember. Are you expecting something? This is what they call fake out. I really must go back to my office this time. See ya! So yep, we received the Silver Wing from the director here at the radio tower after dealing with Team Rocket. Sadly, this thing really isn't going to do anything for us for the time being. So we were told that the Silver Wing will unlock something if we head to the bottom of the Whirl Islands. However, there's really no reason for us to go down there at this time, because as that guy said, the legendary Pokemon that dwells at the Whirl Islands will not appear to us just with the Silver Wing in hand. This is completely different from how they do things in Gold and Silver, where getting the Rainbow or Silver Wing will grant you access to being able to go after the legendary Pokemon immediately after dealing with Team Rocket, which is a nice way of adding a pretty powerful Pokemon to your team before heading off to the final chunks of the game. But yeah, for the time being, there is really not much we're going to be able to do with that. Hello, Professor Yora! Welcome to the stream! Yeah, we're playing through our little challenge run of Pokémon SoulSilver right now. This is a randomized Nuzlocke run. So, yeah, definitely quite different from some of the other Pokemon playthroughs we have done on this channel before. And we just got done a lot of plot stuff here. Just managed to take out Team Rocket at the radio tower, so you certainly came in at an interesting time. Thank you, kiddo, you're the best. This is a token of my appreciation. We got TM11 by talking to this lady here. It's Sunny Day. It powers up fire-type moves for a while. That could be really useful to us. Actually, that benefits 2 of our party members right now. Since Sunny Day would boost the power of Sun's fire-type attacks, and that also allows Dottie to fire off solar beams without the need to charge. Oh, that's so good. We have recordings of the cries of many of the Pokemon that have been found. We must have about 200 kinds. We run 24 hours a day to broadcast entertaining programs. I'll do my best to run around the clock, too. Yeah, our team right now is quite formidable at this stage of the game. And you really haven't seen it just all of the other Pokemon we have caught in this run, because there have been quite a few very cool catches we made. I listened to the radio while I was at the ruins. I heard a strange broadcast there. Yeah, that is something that you can see in that area. Oh, you're my little savior. Will you take this as my thanks? We get bright powder by talking to Mary. When a Pokemon holds it, it lowers the opponent's accuracy. Bright powder could be pretty useful to you. Listen to our music? Yes, I do, Ben. It is quite nice, I must say. Yeah, bright powder could be pretty useful if you're up against opponents that use some pretty gnarly attacks, because just being able to boost the chance of attacks not being able to hit you is pretty good. Hello, it's you. You know, I really love Pokemon. I built this radio tower just so I could express my love of Pokemon. It'd be nice if people enjoyed our programs. I find them pretty nice. Definitely good on world building. Oh, that is pretty interesting there, Yara. Yeah, sadly, I've never been blessed myself with any shinies during any of my streams in this run. Well, technically I have encountered a shiny before, but that was when I was not actually streaming the game, so sadly didn't get to have that be a little surprise happening when I was playing the game. But, you know, still kind of nice to show off that I was able to get one during the events of the game. But yep, thanks to our efforts, Goldenrod City is now free of Team Rocket's control. And things are looking pretty good here. So now that we have dealt with Team Rocket, that also unlocks some pretty interesting things for us if you're looking to grind up your Pokemon and get to show off some, just to kind of do some things around the Johto region. So after dealing with Team Rocket in the radio tower, you can call the various trainers that you've registered in the Pokegear in order to be able to challenge them to rematches. You can do this with any one of the trainers that you have managed to register in your in the Pokegear. Although there are some people that will not battle you, even if you do call them. Now, the system is a little interesting because every trainer only has a certain period of time where you're able to fight them. For example, if we wanted to battle youngster Joey, we'd have to do that during, check my notes here. We can only challenge him on Monday afternoons, which is actually fitting because that's actually, yeah, that is what time it is. So yep, we are now able to challenge people to rematches, which is fairly nice. Sadly going to be a while before we can challenge gym leaders to rematches, but we'll definitely talk about that when the time is right. Thank you for liking the art there. Yeah, I draw art of, like, all of the Pokemon that I choose to use during my Pokemon streams, and it's been really fun just interpreting different ways of presenting these Pokemon. And I've certainly grown attached to the ones that I have caught in this journey, so yeah, I'm very appreciative of hearing that. Alright, we have managed to clear up things in Goldenrod here, so something I wanted to do, now that we are done with all of that, actually wanted to withdraw our Snorunt, as when we were dealing with Team Rocket, we managed to find a Dawnstone in the underground. So we can use this Dawnstone to evolve our Snorunt here. It has to be a female Snorunt, not a male. We can go ahead and do that. And our little girl's evolving, becoming a fearsome Yukiana. I really do like Frostlass. Hope I get a chance to use one in a stream someday. Yeah, there was definitely a lot we gained over the course of these battles with Team Rocket. And still a lot we're going to get to see going forward. Let us bring Donnie back into the team here. Yeah, to kind of show you right now, Yara, just all the crazy encounters we've had over the course of this journey. We caught a Moltres at one point. Bear in mind, this is a Nuzlocke run, so I'm only allowed to capture the first Pokemon I encounter in each area. And when we were at the Lake of Rage, we did manage to encounter a Moltres as our first encounter. So yeah, it took a while, but we actually did manage to catch this guy. I'm just kind of not using him at the moment because it seems a little cheap to use a legendary Pokemon at this point in the adventure, but who knows, we got some stronger battles coming up, so at some point we might be bringing Kentucky into the team. But then again, we have an Infernape, and I'm kind of not in the mood of switching in a Pokemon that shares the same type as one I already have. I mean, I say that and I have 2 fighting Pokemon in my party, but, you know, they're different in their own ways. While I am in here, though, might as well just bring Kentucky in the party for one thing I want to do. God, Moltres just looks so good on the Pokelink display right now. God, that is so cool. So yep, now that we've dealt with Team Rocket, it is time to move on with our adventure. Given the amount of time we have left in this session, I'm probably just going to finish up the next route, and then we're gonna call it before we head into the next dungeon. Thank you for the follow, Yara. Really appreciate that. And hope to see you in a few more of these sessions we're doing for this run. Yeah, also didn't get to bring this up while you were here, Yara, but also randomized not only the Pokemon we can encounter on routes, I also randomized what abilities they can get. So we got a few crazy ones. For example, Hippowdon has the same ability as Arceus. Alright. So Team Rocket dealt with. Oh, god damn it, it's happening again. Just give me a second, we'll get all this sorted out. There we go, everything's back to normal. Sahara, your god power's going out of whack or something now? There's something to note after we have dealt with Team Rocket. So if we return back to the store that Team Rocket was using as a base... You bothered by a noise? That's me. My false teeth don't fit right and the gap makes the noise. Enough about that, why don't you buy something? This store becomes a lot more useful as a store now, being able to load up on some pretty nice items. Still not as good as a regular store or even the department store back in Goldenrod, but, you know, still nice. Nice way to stock up on supplies. And while we're in the area, something I want to show off is we want to head back to the Lake of Rage, as some new stuff has happened here since we have dealt with Team Rocket in the area. So I believe after you've cleared out the Rocket hideout in Mahogany, if you return to Lake of Rage, some new NPCs pop up in this area. Well, you're still going to say the same thing. Yeah, the Magikarp are biting now. Yep, things have returned to normal around here. Let me battle with a Pokemon I just caught. And we're going to take care of all of the trainers we have in this area. What? Okay, I'm pretty sure this guy uses a Gyarados in his base team, and that's why he has an Entei right now. God, man. That's shocking to see right now. You don't really have too many opportunities where you can just run into a legendary Pokemon in the middle of a battle, but this guy decided, hey, check this shit out. So yeah, this thing honestly shouldn't be too bad to deal with. Yep, Sahara was able to handle Entei pretty well. Which definitely makes me feel good about some of the things coming up, because, yeah, a lot of the battles going forward in this game are going to get much tougher. In fact, I'm fully expecting to see a legendary Pokemon when we're going up against the next gym leader we have to fight. Because that one's going to be a doozy. It's already a tough battle in Vanilla Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but with all encounters randomized, we really don't know what we're going to expect to see, and it could be just brutal. But, yeah, for the most part, things around here are just going to be pretty ordinary, so we'll just clear up the trainers in this area before we head off to the next route. And while we're doing that, I thought we could talk about some other stuff that's been going on. Feebas. It's like the worst thing you could use here, buddy. So as I said before, I'm pretty excited about the new Sonic and Mario games that are coming out this week. Talked a little bit how I was playing Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon in this week, and been having a good time at that. And something else I wanted to go back to and play this week is, because I just felt like jumping back into Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. It's like one of my favorite games at the moment, and just been really working on trying to make more progress in the current file I'm doing. Like, I've already played the game on my Switch, but I'm also doing a run of it on my PC to, you know, kind of get an idea for how things are going to run when I eventually do stream that game on the channel. And yep, still just a very fun Digimon game. Current part of the story I'm in have been pretty interesting because there have been quite a few developments, and managed to take out one of the early villains introduced in that game, which is Jimmykin, a hacker/musician who's been trying to control people subconsciously through his music. And yeah, it's just an interesting point in the story because we're starting to see a bit more about some of the little pieces and hints about things that are going to be happening later. Ooh, picked up a charcoal there. That is good for boosting fire type attacks. However, I really don't need that at the moment, because we currently already have a charcoal on sun. I heard this lake was made by rampaging Gyarados, and there's a connection to their mass outbreak now. Well, I don't see any Gyarados, but I did see some Moltres around here. Red Gyarados? That sounds scary. Must be red with rage. Me? I'm not angry or anything, but let's battle. I didn't even see a red Gyarados when I was here. Yeah, in case you don't know, Yara, the red Gyarados encounter here at the lake, it still retains its shininess even if it is randomized. And with the particular Pokemon we got from that, it ended up being a Togetic, which, you know, could be useful if we eventually find the item we need to eventually evolve it. But for the time being, it's just kind of a nice little trophy we have in the PC. Yeah, it is interesting when the games do have those moments where they just plop a guaranteed shiny encounter for you, which there only have been a couple of instances throughout the series. Like, I know in Black 2 and White 2, you can get either a shiny Dratini or a Gibble by completing the challenges in the post-game. And if you manage to complete the Pokedex in those games, you can also get a shiny Haxorus, which is a freaking killer shiny, I must say. Just, it looks so cool with all of its scales being black. Just such a great design. And I know in the most recent games, Scarlet and Violet, in the most recent DLC, there's a mini game you can do that rewards you with a shiny Munchlax if you complete it. Yeah, just kind of interesting a few points in the series where they do give you guaranteed shiny encounters. Oh yeah, the Ponyta from Legends Arceus. That one's pretty neat. When I first did that mission, I thought that it was going to be a Galarian Ponyta we were going to encounter in Ancient Hisui. But no, they just give you a shiny because whatevs. It's a very good shiny, though. I really do like the look of Ponyta with the blue flames. Yeah, you can get a shiny Munchlax in the Teal Mask DLC, but you have to do a pretty difficult mini-game to be able to win it. It's the one where you have to collect berries while also ramming balloons and scaring away hungry Pokemon before they can eat the berries you collect. That's kind of an interesting minigame. Not one I've done a whole lot of, but it's alright. Alright, with all the trainers around the Lake of Rage dealt with, how about we move on at last to Route 44. Got a guaranteed red Apricorn on this route right out of the gate, which is pretty nice. And if I remember correctly, the grass on this route is pretty tricky to get to because we have to serve to get it. Either way, we are guaranteed a new encounter in this area, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, I'm not worried about Bulbasaur. I got a Hippowdon with the power of God on our side, which is gonna wreck this thing's day. I know, Bulbasaur is super cute. Easily one of my favorite Pokemon. In fact, I did start my very first Nuzlocke run with a Bulbasaur, and he definitely pulled through a lot of the game. Just such a good team member. Oh, that is so... Aw, man. Yeah, it's always sad when you lose a starter Pokemon, especially in a battle where it would have been really good for. Yeah, Misty can be really tricky because her Starmie is really powerful compared to other Pokemon you can encounter at that point in the game. Oh, another call from Mom. Yeah, just got a lot of items waiting for us at the next Pokemart we visit. You know what, now we dealt with Team Rocket, let's change up the skin for our Pokegear. Yeah, I only want to do that during the Team Rocket portion of the game because I know it's a little tradition of mine. Change up the appearance of the Pokegear to reflect Team Rocket's takeover. It's quite cool they allow you to do that. Ooh, Gardevoir as a starter is quite cool. Don't really know if it gets a lot of good moves early on, but it is a very strong Pokemon to have by that point in the game. You made me lose a Poliwag! What are you gonna do about it? I don't know. Fight you, I guess? Also, we should probably switch around the team a little bit. Oh, look at the little Hippopotas. Thinks he can stand up to Sahara? Also, the irony of a fisherman using an animal that normally would be very fitting for water, but not in the context of Pokemon, because this thing is a desert dweller. Trico. That one's actually not too bad. Sahara can finish this one, too. Damn, you just ate that gecko in one bite. Can I just say how gruesome it is to imagine just a Pokemon with a mouth that big one-shotting a tiny Pokemon with a biting attack? Just, that is just such a grim image that pops in your head. And Rotom goes down. So I think that might be everything on this guy's team. Oh yeah, hippos are just such terrifying animals. But also ones I'm kind of fascinated by, and even find kind of cute. Well, it's a very interesting battle now, wasn't it? Fishing here sometimes catch items that people have dropped. If I find anything, I'll give it to you. So we'll go and register this guy into our Pokegear. If I snag anything good, I'll be sure to let you know. Now, if I remember correctly, you might actually want to register this, Fisherman Wilton. If you're playing a Gold, Silver, and the remakes, highly recommend registering him in your Pokegear, as he can let you know when the Pokemon Remoraid is swarming on this route, which can be pretty handy if you're looking to catch them for Pokedex completion, as they're only found in this area if you're playing Gold and Silver. Favorite Pokemon? It kind of changes every generation whenever new Pokemon get introduced. At the moment, my favorite Pokemon is Cerulege, as it's just such a wicked design. I just think it's so cool having this fire ghost Pokemon with swords for hands that it just uses to strike down its opponents and then absorb their life force. Just such a cool Pokemon. I just think it's so great, and it was a very nice addition to my Pokemon Violet team. Funny story about that, though, was because I had Cerulege in my party. Raising it up was kind of interesting, because I first caught it when it was a Charcadet, and then the process of getting that thing leveled up was kind of annoying, because you can only evolve that Pokemon by obtaining a specific item that you trade with an NPC for little fragments that are dropped by defeating certain Pokemon. And wouldn't you know it, the Pokemon that you need to defeat in order to get the malicious armor to evolve the Charcadet is Sinistee. And for the life of me, I could not find where Sinistea were located for the longest time. It took until after I cleared 6 of the gym battles before I finally got to an area where Sinistea was, so that I could finally evolve my Charcadet. So yeah, that was an exhausting process. Leafeon, that's a pretty nice choice for a favorite Pokemon. One I do quite like a bit, only use it in a few runs, but it's good. If you're able to use it right. There's a couple hidden items around here, definitely want to grab. And we kind of made a little ring around the main section of this route. Clear up a few more of the trainers around here, and then we'll go try and get our encounter for this area. Still quite a few new potential teammates we could get. Oh yeah, that is a deceptively really good Pokemon. Come on, Squirtle, you're really no threat to me, so just go down. Tch, it's a total loss on my part. You did your best, buddy. We're getting another call from Mom. Man, just having the Luck Incense and Amulet coin equipped in my team right now, really paying off. We're getting a lot of good money, which also means our mom is calling us very frequently to let us know she bought items for us. Look strong, good trainers see tough opponents instinctively. I think there's Sybil. I really don't know if Sybil's a very common name. I don't even know if it's a common name for women. But not complaining here. So any opportunity to fight an ace trainer is usually a good one, since they'll typically use very rare and strong Pokemon. But not really in this instant. Okay. Alright, I will give you that. Roserade's a good Pokemon. In fact, it's my favorite grass type of all time. So yeah, Randomizer is pretty nice to let us see this particular Pokemon right now. Nope, this won't do it all. And what else do we have here? We've got another fisherman, and then... Alright, that's a bit of it for the trainers around this ring. I fish until I can't find any more. I also battle until I drop. That's my relationship with my Pokemon. Boy, you lead an interesting life, sir. Only I can say I do the same. Well, you certainly got a cute little partner here. And of course you're using Endure, just making me waste time by not being able to one-shot you. Look at that, that would have easily been a one-hit kill, if not for that Endure. You're just wasting my time, buddy. Which is something I don't like having right now, because I typically only stream for 2 hours. Bronzor. That would be normally scary for us, but I think we'll just handle this thing with Scarab. Yeah, I usually have a good idea on what my favorite Pokemon are. Again, it typically fluctuates with every new generation, as I do find a lot of the new Pokemon are ones that are... I don't know, I usually do find a lot of favorites whenever I play a new generation of games, as whenever I do pick up a new Pokemon game, I always try to make sure that I build a team using exclusively Pokemon that are introduced in that game. So it's very easy for me to find new favorites. some very good choices there. Yeah, I guess we can lead with Sparkles. Alright, we dealt with all the trainers in this little ring. So, in order to get to the grass around here... I mean, don't even know if we're going to get to the grass for encounter. Never mind. We got over here. And our first encounter for this area is going to be... Drowsy. Okay, that's a pretty normal Pokemon to encounter in the Johto region. Let's go ahead and paralyze you to make you a bit easier to catch. For those that don't know, I do have a little bit of an affinity for the Drowsy family. In fact, most of my playthroughs of Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I tend to gravitate to using the Drowsy line early on. Just because there are a lot of poison and fighting Pokemon you tend to encounter in the main game, and Psychic types are definitely very useful for dealing with them. And the Drowsy line are definitely pretty good for dealing with them, since they get to their final form relatively quickly. They're pretty easy to catch compared to some of the harder to encounter Psychic types, like Abra. Yeah, for whatever reason, I do gravitate to the Drowsy family. And it's also quite interesting because this Pokemon family is based on the Baku, which are a species of yokai that sneak into people's houses and feed on their dreams when they're sleeping. Okay, this particular Pokedex entry is kind of weird out of context. It remembers every dream it eats. It rarely eats the dreams of adults because children's are much tastier. As if this guy didn't already have a very negative reputation to it. What are we going to call you? No, I am not going to call it that. That seems rather inappropriate for this kind of run. For whatever reason, I'm kind of leaning towards Quincy. I don't know, just seems kind of dignified. And this is a Pokemon I do like, so, you know, want to give it a name that I feel would be good for it. So I believe that's about all we can do around this area. Yeah, kind of weird they just have this little patch of grass at the middle of this lake here, and that's the only grass you can find on this route. So, yeah, good luck with that. Alright, just one more battle to do before we have access to the next dungeon. And then... yep, we'll just do this battle, and then that's going to be where we're going to end things here. Do you know about the legendary bird Pokemon? Dude, I have one sitting in my box. I named it Kentucky, after fried chicken. I know about the legendary Pokemon. Alright, let's just finish this guy off. Alright, very easy first battle for Sparkles here. And it's gonna get even easier because it's Farfetch'd next. Hope you enjoyed the nice fried duck with a side of leek we just served you. Whew, you're hot stuff. Again, Moltres. You're sure strong, but I don't want to just slink away. I know, could I get your number? Yeah, sure, now that we can actually rematch trainers, this could be a good way for us to train up for the next couple of battles. Don't forget to come and see me when I challenge you. Yeah, you don't have to actually call the NPCs in order to schedule a battle with them, as sometimes when you're just roaming around the world, sometimes a character will call you and request a rematch. But typically, I will always try to do the rematches myself, as I just feel like it's nice to decide for myself when I'm going to get to challenge them. But yeah, this has been quite an eventful stream. Managed to deal with all the Team Rocket stuff in Goldenrod, and managed to make our first steps to heading off to the next section of the Johto region, which is also going to be the site of our final gym battle, in the main story at least. So yeah, this is quite nice. Made a very good amount of progress here. His ability is Stench. That is... Aw, man. That's so sad. I mean, come on. Well, let's hope you get a better ability when you evolve. But yeah, that is where we are going to call things for this session. Definitely want to train up a few more Pokemon while I am off stream, but hopefully we will be back here in a few days. Probably on Saturday, actually, for the next stream. So, yep, this is where we are going to call it for this session. Next time on Pokemon SoulSilver, we will be heading through the next area in order to finally get to the site of our final gym battle, which we're probably not going to challenge the gym in the next session. Probably want to try and clear up a few more areas, but, you know, we'll eventually get there, you know? So, thank you for joining me in this session. Have a good night, and take care.